Is your audio on now?
There we go.
There you go. Okay, so today I am excited because I am virtually sitting down with my sister, Stephanie Rottinghaus. Stephanie, what did we call you? Cabin with rotten wood or what was it?
For the Rottinghaus?
Yeah.
Rottinghaus?
No, but it was, oh gosh. Okay, never mind. I thought I was going to be funny and then it totally skipped my brain of what I said.
Yeah, when you're trying to be funny, you never are. So.
No, not at all. Bad humor. But anyway, we're having a little bit of a happy hour. She's drinking wine. I'm having some Dos Equis that took me like 10 minutes to open because I couldn't find a bottle opener. So don't buy beer during quarantine. If
How did you open it?
Huh?
How did you open it?
I ended up flipping it to the side and opening it with the side of it. So, I was very innovative. But
Yes.
I wanted to sit down with my sister because she is kind of living proof of quarantine madness. Poor lady. She's got 3 kids. She's got a full-time job. Her husband has a full-time job. They've got a new puppy. They just moved. They've had a 13-year-old birthday. You've just kind of ran the gamut of everything. So just kind of wanted to sit down and talk to you because when I think of beautiful strength and I think of people overcoming resilience, I would say handling all that during the time of COVID and coronavirus is pretty remarkable. So
handling. This is how we handle it.
Yeah, lots and lots of vino. And vino veritas, there is truth in wine. So give us a day in the life. Well, actually, okay, start off at the beginning. Like, when did you guys first get quarantined and how was that? I keep saying it's quarantine because we're all kind of quarantined, but it's like social distance quarantine, stay safe at home, safer at home, right. Shelter in place. It's all kind of the same thing.
Yes, because Iowa's actually never had a shelter in place or a lockdown of our entire state because of our manufacturing environment that 80% or some statistic high percentage is essential. So we have a large manufacturing, we have a large producing. I'm sure people in the news right now are familiar with what's happening with the beef plants. So we never have been really a shelter in place, but starting the week of our spring break for our students in Cedar Falls, which was right around St. Patrick's Day, that's kind of when everything across the country started to shut down. So that's when our schools were announced that they would be closed for, I don't remember, maybe 2 weeks.
Did they
I can't even
initially go on spring break? Well, I guess your school was already on spring break. So that first week it was like you were already prepared for that.
We had a week of spring break. And before spring break ended, I knew I was not going to be going back to work because the school closed for, at that time, I don't remember what it was, maybe through the end of March or beginning of April. I can't remember. It's so hard right now to even think that this has been going on that long. But I immediately reached out to my employer and we worked on an arrangement where I could work from home and also be with my kids and part-time, I guess, work because it's impossible. I don't know who these people are that are putting in 40 hours at home. They can't possibly have kids, or they're locked in dungeons somewhere, or their house is going to be burnt to the ground within the next day, because I honestly don't know how they do it. I have worked from 10 to 15 hours a week, and it's a struggle for me with my husband being essential. He is outside of the home every single day. So it's me with my daughter who wakes up before 7 a.m. and the new puppy. And then it's just go from the minute we wake up until my husband gets home, and then things calm down a little bit and I can take a bath. I can work a couple hours. They still want to find mom. I'm still hearing mommy, 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 and they'll be coming in the door. You'll probably see them unless my husband locked the door.
I know before I hit record, they were in there. I need to use the computer.
Yes.
Like, I need 30 minutes.
So for an example, today I had a meeting where There were multiple people from my office, but also someone from the outside who was doing a training session with us on a new CRM we're implementing. I'm in marketing and communications for an engineering and land surveying firm. So we're implementing a new customer relationship management system, and I'm part of the team that's implementing that. So we had a training session on kind of rolling it out today, and it was a 2-hour training. So I had talked to my husband and said, you know, remember I have this training at 2:30. Please make sure you can be home. Typically he's able to be home by 2 o'clock. And I texted him frantically at 2:30, and I said, I put a sign on the door that says, do not enter, mom's in a training, and I kicked him out of the house to go play. Well, within 5 minutes, Aubrielle came in and she said, Ashton has a sliver in his foot. And I said, okay, fine. Your dad's on his way home. He'll be fine. He'll handle it. So then Randy got home about 15 minutes later, and he comes in, he said, he had a piece of glass in his foot. So I'm like, oh, whoops. And I felt so bad because I didn't go out there and like save him. But typically it's like a cry wolf situation, you know, like the house is, you know, burning down, the sky is falling. And then it's really nothing. But
yeah, that's like where I'm at in Georgia. I'm at this farm, which are amazing people. And the other day the kid comes out and he's like, yeah, there's water on the floor, to his dad. And he's like, there's water on the floor. Yeah, the washing machine's like leaking. And he was like, the washing machine's leaking? He's like, yeah, like there's water all over, like on the floor, like into the kitchen. And then he was like, what? And he like, what? It's like 2 inches of water across the entire top floor dripping into. So like in that one was like so nonchalant that it was like, oh, okay.
That's when you'd be panicking and, you know, yeah, exactly.
But then they'd probably be like, oh my God, there's a spider. And it'd be like, the
right.
worst scenario. That's funny. So how is it going? Like, do you have a routine with your kids? Do you just feel like it's total chaos? Do you still have weekends? Because you guys are used to being a really active family. Like you usually have school, you have events, you have baseball, you have gymnastics, you have a lot of different things going on. So how are you maintaining like any type of schedule or any type of routine when there's really nothing to do?
Randy and I have the same routine as far as like I'm still getting up in the morning at 6. When he leaves for work, I'm pretty much up, so I can get myself ready. And then we have tried to keep somewhat of a schedule. Like Aubrielle and I will bake in the morning. We try to do something more of a
boys don't get up that early.
No, Andrew will sleep until noon or 2 o'clock in the afternoon if you let him, and depending on how late he stays up the night before. And then Ashton is 9 or 10. So we've come up with a schedule where we have time in the morning for schoolwork, because that typically works a little bit better than waiting till the afternoon when it's nice and they want to play. So we have somewhat of a schedule. I would say I'm not rigid about it. It's very challenging when I'll have a work call or a meeting, or, you know, something always comes up. You think that you're going to have a plan, and then the dog pees in the house, so you have to clean that up.
I was doing like their recess until I got busy and have to do stuff. So I was doing that on a daily basis. So sorry, Aunt Nancy bailed out of quarantine.
We're a little busy with the bus right now, so it's cool. Yeah, we try to do some sort of physical exercise activity. If it's raining or if it's too windy or something, for them to get outside, they do run on the treadmill.
Yeah, I love that you're like, they're running a mile.
I'm the one that needs a break. I need them to get their energy out somewhere other than my living room. So, and they love it. They actually like to run. So it's okay with them. And then we do the YouTube videos and the yoga and different
things. Are they getting along pretty well, considering there's 3 of them in the house and they're spread out in ages, but
as well as any siblings do. I mean, there are days where you are just like, I cannot believe how much you guys are working together and are quiet. And then 2 minutes later, they're at each other's throat. You know, it's normal sibling rivalry, but I think being around each other all the time is what kind of escalates that. But they have so many things that they do on their own
Mm-hmm.
that we're trying to get them, their own space and time away. So
So are they still interacting with their friends, or how is that working?
yeah, we do FaceTime with Aubriel's friends, and then Ashton has that Facebook Messenger app so
Mhm.
that he can directly talk to his friends, except he lost his phone. So now
Phone at home.
today I know, that's what I told Randy. I said, well, we know it's here. He hasn't gone anywhere.
Right. Is
So
it an iPhone?
he has an old iPhone.
Can't
Yeah.
you ping it? Can't you log into the
I
Find My
think
iPhone and ping it?
I did try that, but then it just tells you it's here. Like,
I thought you can send a sound to it and it like,
I'll try. Is that even if it's dead? It's
oh
been
no, it
missing
has
for
to be
a
powered
couple
on.
of days. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we tried everything. I mean, we looked everywhere today. Vehicles, in the couches, under the beds. We stripped his bed down, and then I made the mistake of looking underneath his dresser where he has 50,000 wrappers of miscellaneous candy, things shoved underneath there, dirty socks. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I just want to rewind the clock. Go back in time. Don't look. It's not there.
Sometimes I'm like, this is why I have not been blessed with being a mom.
Oh man.
Because
I
my
have
sisters get to
OCD.
live it out for me.
Yeah, I like to just have everything nice and tidy. So when I go in their rooms, I just have to tell myself, it's their room, not mine. It's their room. It's their room. They're going to do what they want with it. Don't freak out. And sometimes I freak out, and sometimes I turn around and I walk away.
I know as a kid, like I like to have things neat and in place because it helps my brain function better.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember as a kid, like the only time I really cleaned was when I was going to get something. Like, if you clean your room, we're gonna go here. If you clean your room, then da da da. And I'd be like, okay.
That's how my
But
kids
yeah,
are too. Yeah.
that is hilarious. So has it made you aware of like, do you think anything in like schools and stuff should change and have like a later start date if your kids are getting rested? Like, or do you feel like, obviously once everybody goes back to school or sports, you'll go back to being rushed or
Mm-hmm.
having to go places and do things. Like, do you think that any of this will incorporate into what schools look at, that it doesn't have to be an 8 to 3 day, or it doesn't?
So rigid.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's a really good question. I feel like I remember being on a walk. Hertz Donut was in the area doing a delivery, and this was earlier on when the governor announced that schools were going to be closed longer and that the parents would be responsible not the parents would be responsible, but the schools were responsible for providing us with the tools and everything we needed. And I mean, I must have turned completely white because I thought to myself, I can't do this. It's not in me. I'm not a teacher. I'm not patient enough. It's not who I am. And then they sent something out later. Maybe I talked to Shyla, who's a kindergarten teacher.
We happen to have a third sister that is a kindergarten teacher.
Yes. And so I was probably sending her freak texts, like, how can I do this? This is impossible. And someone somewhere along the line had sent something out that said, a kindergartner only really needs 30 minutes a day or 40 minutes a day. And then a third grader, which would be Ashton's level, only needs, an hour a day. And then Andrew's in 7th grade, he really only needs an hour and a half or 2 hours a day. So then, you take a deep breath and you're like, okay, that's achievable. We can do this. It's still hard because you have this meetings going on here and this is going on here, and she's supposed to be reading this book. And yesterday I missed that she was supposed to build a fort for her Zoom meeting for her class in kindergarten, and I felt horrible that she hadn't done that because I missed it in an email. Things like that happen. But to answer your question, that's really a long way. I forgot what it was now. It's been,
If you think that it would be better if it's like not as long as a school day, or they like kids can sleep in, like, is there, I don't know. Like, I'm not a mom, so I don't have kids and I have no opinion on it. But from everybody that I've seen posting online or just people that I know, one of the biggest things is people don't feel so rushed. They
Mm-hmm.
don't feel like, obviously we're not rushed to go anywhere. But they just feel like they've had more time. It's calmer. Their kids get to wake up when they wake up. They're still learning, but it's like, it's not as rushed.
Our
So,
kids they were never rushed in the morning as far as waking up because of when our school starts. Our school starts very late compared to other schools, I think, across the country. We don't go to school until 8:30, and I don't believe classes start till 8:45
well,
because
and
of
you
their
don't, well,
classes.
you have your school is not that far from you either.
Right.
Like I know like Ackley, Geneva, where we grew up, some of those kids are getting on buses at 6 a.m. because they're going from small
Yeah.
county into the bigger school. But luckily your kids are like right near your school.
Well, Andrew, I take that back because Andrew does have to get up. I have to wake him up, and he gets on the bus by 7 o'clock in the morning, like 6:45, 6:50, and he would sleep in otherwise. But it doesn't seem to bother him when it's that routine. Like when
Right.
the kids get adjusted to that, I would not let my kids stay up until 10 o'clock at night if they were going to school in the morning. So Ashton would not sleep in as late if I had, if we implemented a bedtime like we would if he was in school of 8:30 or 9 o'clock or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think he would adjust and he would be fine and we wouldn't be as rushed. I think the rushed comes from all of the different activities that are piled on us because of church and school and sports. There's so many things that we are trying to give our kids those opportunities that you feel guilty as a parent. Well, we want to do Lego League and we want them to have that STEM opportunity, and we want them to be involved in Wednesday night, it's called chaos for junior high, at church. We want all those opportunities for our kids, and because this one likes something different, then we're going to have to juggle getting them to this practice. Ashton's passionate about hockey and he's, kind of feeling out baseball, and maybe he'll really be into football. We don't know. You want to provide those opportunities for your kids. So you feel like, not that you have to, but if they enjoy doing it, I want to continue that, because that's the first thing I ask Gabrielle every year when it comes time to register her for gymnastics or any other sport. Do you enjoy doing this? Is this something that you want to do? And if she does, then I put her in it. T-ball's not going to be her thing. She decided that last year at the end of the season. I'm not doing it again. So this spring, when there's the registration open, do you want to be in T-ball? Nope. I don't like it. I don't want to be up to bat. I don't want to do this. And I'm like, all right, we're not going to do it then. So I don't think we're pushing things on the kids that makes us busy, but we want them to be able to have the experiences that they want. And that's really what adds the stress of the hustle and the bustle when you have kids, is getting home, getting that dinner made, giving them a nutritious meal if they can't be home for dinner, if they have to have a sport after school, juggling all that with kids of different ages, and then trying to have a life yourself on top of that. So,
Right.
yeah.
Happy hour and wine and cheers.
That's right. And
And
we've had a lot of those.
adult days and dates and time
Mm-hmm.
with your hubby and stuff are good too.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you want to kind of continue? Like, I mean, we've all been kind of stuck in quarantine, but that's not to say that some good things haven't come out of it. Is there anything that you kind of like, were like, wow, that I really like that part? Maybe not the teaching, but is there anything that you'd want to kind of continue? Like, I like these. I want Zoom time with my family. Like, I've lived away for years. We've done FaceTiming and stuff here and there, but it's usually like one-on-one. Like, in a like 30 minutes, we're gonna do a happy hour with you, me, and mom and Shyla. And I like, and like the things with the kids and stuff, like I've really enjoyed doing those things. And I hope that we get, even when we get back to being busy, we're like, hey, let's take that 10-15 minutes to just like see each other and catch up. I really liked that. So outside of that,
I really like the fact that I am planning more meals and cooking things that I wouldn't normally, because when you have kids in sports, it's either you rush from work to that activity or to their practice, or you have like 45 minutes in between getting home and then they have to be at practice. So the things that we're making, I feel like, are more not necessarily more nutritious, but they're different. And I like to have a variety. And, you know, I just felt like I was always making the same boring thing. So that's been kind of cool.
I think it's really funny that at the start of this quarantine, and I think a lot of it was comfort, because like the first things that I bought were
Yeah.
like Spam and mushroom soup and rice, which I know you don't like that.
Toilet paper.
What else did I make? I made shit on a shingle one night. Got chicken gumbo, like all these things that I can remember eating as a kid that I haven't had
in a blanket.
in
And my
20
kids have
years.
never had that. Yes.
No, or like, what were those weenie winks or whatever we made? A kids in a, or not
Wiener
kids in a blanket, pigs
wings.
in a blanket,
Yes.
are with croissant rolls, right? Or
Croissant rolls.
crescent
Yes.
rolls, yes. And then wiener winks were like the thing that you got at lunchtime where you're like, I'm going to take all the crust off, but still good. And a cheap piece
I
of,
ate it all. I loved it.
yeah.
Ashton the same way. He just eat the hot dog, but I have made those for my kids.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's just weird because it's almost all these like comfort things where, like I said, I mean, I literally bought a can of veg oil. And I like veg, so that was just a huge thing that my mom used to make for us. But not a huge thing. It was a can of really crappy veggies with probably a ton of sodium. But it is like, it's just kind of funny to like revert. Well, and it was a lot of canned goods and stuff. I didn't realize how much canned goods we ate as kids, but we did. So as long as I didn't get Braunschweiger, that's yeah.
Aubrielle was making a YouTube video today of how to make brownies because we have done a lot of baking together. Yes. And that's one thing I've really enjoyed too, because she likes doing it. And I'm always nervous there's going to be eggshells in my food, but I let her. I stepped back and I let her, and I ended up running out of memory or something. Something happened with the MacBook that she wasn't able to finish her YouTube video, but it was kind of cute. She was walking through the steps and stuff, and I'm proud of her. I'm like, she's 6 years old, and you know, she knows way more about how to cook things than, you know, some 10 or 15-year-olds do. So that's been enjoyable too. And just spending time with the kids, it's fun. I mean, there are definitely challenging moments, but it's still fun.
So let's talk about Andrew's birthday, because birthdays this time of year, like, I mean, I had a birthday and I didn't do anything, but I guess, well, sorry, my birthday happened prior to this. I did go out over to some people's houses. But all birthdays that have been happening during this time, especially for kids, like normally it's a birthday party and everybody comes over and the family comes over and you have a celebration, and it's something that kids are used to. So, but I almost am liking, I mean, it would be cool if we continued this parade and then everybody stops and like comes in, like, so talk about Andrew's 13, like 13's a big deal.
It's funny that you say that because Aubrielle wants a parade for hers, because she's now been to a couple different ones. We had one for Andrew, and then we've been invited to a couple others for some friends. So we've participated on the other end, you know, driving by and waving and things. But this was pretty early on, before parades kind of got popular. There have been the teacher parades, but April 5th was his birthday, and I just wanted to make sure that he knew we wanted to do something for him, you know, not just a present and not just a nice dinner. You know, we wanted him to know that people were thinking of him, and we wanted to make a big deal out of it. So we just arranged it on Facebook so that he wouldn't be able to see, and invited people and called it his quaranTEEN party since he was turning 13. And I told him that someone was coming over to take our picture for the porch photos, which wasn't a lie, because
they did. Those were so cute.
Taking some. And so we were outside and just playing with Cora, and thank goodness it was a beautiful day outside. And we had written in sidewalk chalk, you know, happy 13th birthday. And he knew we were going to be ordering from the restaurant of his choice, like we always do. We actually go to the restaurant of his choice for his birthday. So he knew we were ordering from there. And Randy pulled in the driveway, and then a couple minutes later, one of his friends, Justin, drove by with his parents, and then he kept noticing other people, and he's like, how many people are coming? Oh my gosh. And he kind of realized what was going on. So it was really neat that we were able to surprise him. And,
I was glad that I got to be there, like that you
yes.
turned it on and turned it around, because
Yeah.
I normally don't get to come to birthday parties and stuff. So that was really fun. And I think it was funny because they're like, what's Aunt Nettie doing? Like, I just want to see, I want to see the photos, which made sense.
Like, why is your computer out here and Aunt Nettie's just sitting there doing nothing? And, oh yeah, well, she's a photographer, so I really need her advice on some of this. And yeah, we played that off pretty well, I think.
But I will say I cried like crocodile tears watching that, just because it was so sweet. One, I wanted to be there. One, I was like, it was just so cool, the community, and just watching him, like, kind of like, it, what a cool moment. But then, yeah, then you're like, why wouldn't Aubrielle or Ashton want that too? Or like any kid now, when, especially when like the cops and the sirens and everything are like, oh, how cool.
It is.
But,
it was a neat experience.
yeah.
But then your heart breaks for him that he wasn't able to do the normal things that a 13-year-old does, and your heart breaks for seniors that are graduating this year, and people that don't get to complete their sports, or there's so many things, senior prom, I mean, all of these things that I got to experience that these kids are missing. It really breaks my heart. I think about my daily struggles here, and I'm like, this is nothing. There are so many people out there that are going to work with these people that are sick, and there's single parents out there dealing with this, and maybe they have a job and they don't know what to do with their kid during the day, and there are so many people out there that are far worse off. So I have to remember that when I'm dealing with my 6-year-old that tells me she hates me at 8:00 in the morning. Great way to start the day.
Right. So speaking of that, how's your marriage holding up on quarantine?
I never see my husband, so it's great. No. He's a rock star. His job, my job, they've both been great to us about working with our schedules and what our needs are for taking care of our family. And so when he gets home in the afternoon, he's really on duty for the kids, because that's my time to work. And then we usually take a walk together because we have a dog, which has been awesome when we've had decent weather. And
are you gonna start like weaning her off of you guys? Like that puppy just thinks you guys are home all the time.
I try to tell, but it's the kids. Like, I'm the one that when the kids reached 1 year old, I said 1 year old, yeah, something like that. I said, yank the pacifier. Like, they're done. Let them cry. They'll figure it out. The kids are the ones not letting her be in her kennel, because I said, we'll play with her until about 9:00 in the morning. And then when you guys are doing your schoolwork, and when I'm, either on the treadmill or if I'm walking or whatever, let's put her in her kennel, get her used to it for at least an hour, maybe an hour and a half. And then we'll move it to 2 hours. And, so she can understand that this is safe. This is okay. I said, she sleeps there all night. She's perfectly fine. The kids do not let her stay in there. The second that I tell them that she's in there and don't let her out and don't go in there, they're running right into our room and playing with her, taking her out of the kennel and then shoving her back in when they hear me coming. And the poor dog.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, because she's gonna be like, where is everybody?
Do they not like me anymore? I know. Believe me, I've thought about that. But Randy and I have talked about, she will probably be able to go with him or me, like, to work. So.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. And then I work from home sometimes too. So we'll work it out. She's going to be loved. Don't worry. She'll be just fine.
She'll be like riding in the backpacks of like Aubrey.
She's not going to be that tiny though. When she's full grown, she's going to be about 20 pounds. So
yeah.
I'm
sure Aubrielle would try. I want to bring her for show and tell every day.
To sneak her into school. Yes.
That is funny. Oh, okay. We have like 8 more minutes. Anything pressing or anything like what is your take on the whole coronavirus? And like, there's no right or wrong or anything like that. But is it something that you're fearful of, or is it something like, because your kids haven't left the house, right? Other than like grocery pickup, but they haven't gotten out of the
Right.
car, and same thing with you. Like how, like, how do you feel about it?
For the most part, our kids have been at home, other than they'll go to, um, like when Cora has a vet visit or something, they'll go with Randy to that, or, Walmart pickup and stuff. They haven't really been in contact with anybody else, you know, face to face, I guess. Now that I think about it, I have always felt safe, and I never have had that, panic moment really. I just wanted to make sure that my kids were safe, and that was probably the hardest for me when I hear the stories out of New York and other places where kids are going to the hospital without their parents, or, moms having babies without their spouses around, and, things like that. That's where I kind of started not freaking out or anything, but I'm like, just taking extra precautions here. I do not want my child to have to go to the hospital without me. That would break my heart. I would be outside of their window the whole time, or FaceTiming them or something. So I guess I've never really had that panic moment. We've always pretty much taken it seriously. Today was the first time where I felt our family is more at risk than what I realized, because of the meat packing plants. I don't know, food processing, however you want to describe those, being so close to um, my husband's job. Now he knows of somebody that has it through their spouse, who is not able to be tested, by the way. The spouse of someone that has it is not able to be tested. So I have some concerns when it comes to testing, but I really feel like it's more widespread than what they're letting us know, and that anybody can get it, even kids. It might not affect them as much, but we're just trying to be as careful as we can, and we're all very healthy. So I'm just hopeful that if someone in our family were to get it, that we would make do and we would be okay. We've already talked about where that person would stay in our house, and different things that might have to change. But I really didn't feel like it was going to be close to home as much as really what it is now, with Black Hawk County being like one of the fastest growing in the whole country. That's scary.
Yeah, per amount of people,
Right.
per capita, I think. And that's Black Hawk County, Iowa. My
Mm-hmm.
sister lives in Iowa. I don't think
Yes.
I said that at all. Yeah, it is. Like I'm more scared, not necessarily for me. Like I'm pretty sure I still think I had it in January,
A lot of people say that.
because I was so sick in January. I could barely breathe. I was coughing all the time. Like, and I was down for like 2-3 weeks. Like I could not get over this thing. Um, so, and obviously there wasn't even anything about it at that point.
Right.
But, and even like now, when I, like today, I didn't feel well, and I'm like, oh,
I know. The
like,
first little tickle in your throat, you're like,
I'm like,
"Oh
I
my God."
spray foamed yesterday, and I was like, God, my lungs hurt, and I'm coughing. And Mom even commented on that video,
You
that
know
person's
what?
coughing. I'm like, that person was me.
I know.
I'm like, I've had a chronic cough my entire life, but after doing that spray foam thing, yeah, I did. And then I was like, oh crap, I got the COVID.
You just
But
touched your face.
I know, I touched my face. I'm like, stay away. Uh, but yeah, it's like I'm more concerned about my parents, and
Mm-hmm.
like having, I mean, we don't have any grandparents any longer, but like my parents, or people that I know that are immune compromised, like and I just don't want to be that person that gives it to them.
Right.
So I'm not super concerned about getting it. Like, I mean, I've gone to Home Depot, I've gone to the grocery store, I wear a mask, I have Purell like no other. But I would not want to be the person that like had it and gave it to somebody else. Like that just, I don't want that.
Right.
So obviously, if there's somebody out there that does want that,
Right. There.
okay. Yeah, so let's see. I wrote down a couple different things, and I think we covered them all. So what's the first thing you're going to do when the quarantine lifts? Like, what are you excited the most to get back to normal?
there are so many things. I can't choose one. I really want baseball to happen. I don't know that that's going to happen this year. We really want to go camping. Just the things that my kids enjoy, you know, doing things outdoors and being around friends and family. And I mean, there's so many things that I could think of. So it's hard to pinpoint it down to one.
Yeah.
But I'm not the person that's going to be, oh, I want to get my toes done or I want to get my hair done. Yes, I want to do
I
those
want to
things.
get my fingers done. I'm still, for some reason, this little pink dot,
Won't go away.
which I got like March 1st. No. So the tornado was March 2nd, March 3rd. I think March 1st is when I got my nails done. And I have tried to pick this little thing off and it will not come off. And I'm like, whatever, it's just holding on for dear life. So I really want my nails done. I want my hair has grown out so significantly. I mean, this was like shaved. So, but this is also probably the healthiest my hair and face and everything has been in years. So
because we don't do our hair. This is the first time I've done my hair in probably weeks and or something other than a t-shirt or.
I lied. I didn't do my hair. It was actually on this side and I just left it.
Nobody would know that.
But I have to tell the truth, the whole truth,
right.
nothing but the truth. All right. Well, thank you for being on the podcast. Eventually I'll be able to get the bus up to you and you'll be in the actual full one. And I was super excited about the bus too, because I wanted to come to Sauerkraut Days and 4th of July and camp with the kids because I wanted them to have a place. But I don't know if it'll be done by then, but if not, next year.
Right.
So
2021 is our year.
2021 is everyone's year. We're all going to be like, thank God this is over.
Yes,
so we're total redo. All right. Love you. And I will talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.